and ladies and gentlemen in the hall. And thanks to Seed for inviting Microsoft as an organization to share things. So, I know you all have heard a lot from Professor Manoj, a lot from Shivanangam, and from Dr. Ravi. Let me tell you a small story. We all live in India for many years. Do you know where did school come from? You heard of Takshira, you heard from him. But where did schools come from? Anybody knows where did school come from? Gurukul, what we normally call it. Is that right? See, school came from the biggest empire on this planet called British Empire. Why did they need it? Because they wanted, because they were the one who ruled the world. And they wanted army who could be picked up from one part of the world like New Zealand, posted in Canada, and he could be functioning next day. So what they wanted? They wanted people, for which they set up a largest computer on this planet called bureaucratic administrative machine. For that machine, they want people, for which they made schools. Why? Because those set of schools used to teach the students how to read, how to write, and do basic arithmetic. So that he could be used from one part of the world as an army and posted as a part of the world and do a basic job in the work. If you look at your schools, our schools, I would say not yours, our schools, our syllabus, what do we do? Same thing. What Dr. Ravi said, if you look at our syllabus, if I remember what I studied when I was in class 5th, 6th or 10th standard, most of the subjects are still the same. The maths have not changed, the basics have not changed. School, as we know, they require transformation. I hope you all agree with that. Before that, I want to ask a question to all of you now. How many of you are using a smartphone? Me, all of you. How many of you are on a cloud? See, why less hands? The people who are using smartphone, all of you are on cloud. Either use a Samsung phone or an Apple phone or a Microsoft phone. All of you are on cloud in one or the other way. Gone are the days when you used to have all those address books. Now all addresses are there in your phone. If you lose a phone, you lose the entire network of yours. Is that right? But nowadays, what do we do? Do we really copy? No. All the address book is lying in the cloud right now. Let me ask one more question. How many of you are selling newspapers or I would say the junk item at home through a kabadi wala? One person. How are you selling now? Have you seen this OLX? Quicker? What has changed? How are you ordering the food nowadays? Kids say, let's buy the food from an app. Is that right? What is that? There was no word of an app for 5 years back. See Bangalore, see Chennai, see Delhi, all by app. Have you ever seen a CEO of 8-year-old CEO of an organization? Have you ever seen a CEO who is 8-year-old? Yes or no? No. See, there's a girl of 9-year-old girl in Chennai. She's a CEO of her own organization. So what does she do? She rent her toys to the friends in the close by locality. She has built a particular portal by which she rent the toys. And who are her salespeople? Her own friends. Who funded it? The father bought a toy for 1 lakh rupee, and this girl makes 70,000 rupees every quarter by renting a Barbie dolls, by renting those Barbie houses, or those guns, or those games. Have you ever thought that the entire thing is changing completely? There are two young brothers, 12 and 14, were invited by Microsoft in Redmond to make a presentation. They are CEO and a COO of the organizations, running a complete app building tool projects. Imagine, things are changing completely. Have you ever thought that could be the biggest hotel in the world without a hotel? Pardon? A biggest a car company or a cab company without a cab. See the disruptions. We are the largest taxi company with no taxis, the largest accommodation provider with no hotel, a largest phone company without telephone infrastructure, a largest retailer without an inventory. Imagine what is happening. There's so much of disruption happening in the world. Are we preparing our students, our kids, to be ready for that world? Ask a question to all of yourselves. As what Dr. Ravi said, ask your heart. I know we all are engineers by heart, but ask these questions. Is this the same world where we are living right now? The world is changing completely. Hotels are coming without a hotel infrastructure, or what is it, OYO or Airbnb. You've got vendors like Apple and Google we do not write apps, but we get apps from the industry. Things are changing. So where are we right now? We are bringing a new thinking in the world called design thinking. New word called design thinking. What Dr. Ravi said, knowledge is the power. I said knowledge is the crowdsourcing. Let me give a very simple example to you before I share the design thinking model. Over a dinner sometime back, my daughter, I am father of two daughters. The elder one has passed out from Delhi University. Over one dinner, my daughter asked me, Dad, when I go to Saket Mall, I don't get car parking. What would father say as a advice on a dining table? Should I take a driver or take a Uber? Is that right? That what normally say, or take a metro. Go by that. Typical girls in Delhi don't prefer a metro because of various reasons. Nor a taxi because of the other reasons what we have being a safe city in the country. So what did she do? She was not happy with my answer. And we both went to bed. Next day morning she said, Dad, I've got an answer right now. Can I build an app? I said, what's an app for? For parking. I said, what will you do with the parking? He said, night when he slept, I wrote a particular thing on my WhatsApp, did a crowdsourcing with my friends. One of my friends around 2 o'clock from IIT responded back that we can build an app, tie with a contractor in that Saket Mall, and we can book a parking in advance. Imagine, I had never dreamt of that she could think of that thing. For me, knowledge is power, but she said crowdsource, share that idea, get some results. People are surprised to hear that app is getting launched in Delhi with some few named malls to book up parking in advance. Imagine yourself put yourself in those shoes. When you were in school or college, did you ever think of those kind of disruptions? Never we thought of it. So what is that thinking has got changed? What is called a design thinking, a human-led design thinking. It has been prevalent for many years, but now it's becoming the key thing for designing any new organization, any new idea or a new product. What do we do? There are 3 steps, what we normally call it. A motivation, help people to achieve. Let me give a very simple example to you. Here again, for the first step, we were talking to Ministry of HRD. What Professor Manoj said, ODL, we were talking about a MOOC platform. You would have heard about SWAYAM, which is coming up in the country. We're talking about MOOC platform with Ministry of HRD, and they were keeping in mind the government policies, the government committees in mind. We changed the complete thinking. Let's keep student in this center. What does he need? Let's keep the industry in the center. What the industry needs. Let's keep teachers. What do they need? The 3 audience. It's not the government is the audience. They are the 3 audience. So what we really motivate the people, what do they want to achieve from those 3 set of audience? Build relationship. Don't get customer obsessed. Get customer empathy. What would a student require? What he, she or she has a competency or basic skills. What can be nourished or polished by the teacher. We can provide. That's the building relationship. And then build technology. So there are 3 basic steps. And if you look at Airbnb or a OYO or a Uber or this girl, everything is same thing. That same 8-year-old girl, what she thought? My customer is my friends. They have friends who can't afford toys. Their father doesn't afford to give her toys. What can I do? How can I bring toys to her or him? And that's what design thinking is. And that's what we as Microsoft are really following it. So guys, where are we? We are at the crossroad of transformation and disruption. On one side, our school education system is pretty old. not changed for many years. On the other side, the industry is disrupting. We got new things, new apps, new young people thinking differently and driving it out. So what do you want? We want a new world of learners. Where if you look at the learner here now, it's the device. I'm carrying a device right now. I don't want to do any marketing for Microsoft, but these are devices there for non-Microsoft OEMs also, where students can learn. And coming back now, our mission. I hope you all would know the CEO of Microsoft worldwide is an Indian guy called Satya Nadella, who's from Hyderabad. After he took over from Steve Ballmer, he made a mission empowering every student on the planet to achieve more, and that's the mission he's carrying in the commercial sector also. He wants every human being on this planet to achieve more with what we can give to the society. For which he came that why are we in education then? We really want to create an immersive and inclusive learning experience for both teachers and students. And how do you do that? Using 4 ways. Create and share entirely new ways. I'll share a few ways. Accommodate any learning style. Teach and learn through doing exploring, and focus on outcomes, not on technology. So let me pick up one by one. How can we create a share new ways? Collaborate on assignments and create activities. Share learning through interactive reports and presentations. So what you can see at the bottom is a OneNote. I'll show you to Professor Manoj. He met the Vice Chancellor of IGNOU 3 weeks back along with his head of departments and presented OneNote to him. OneNote is like a digital notebook. What he wanted is, Vice wanted, can I make my entire office a paperless office? That's one. Second, I've got those 3,000 centers where we really send paper every semester or every 6 months for examination, and there are chances of getting paper leaked. Can I use OneNote where I copy on one side and sitting in Delhi, the paper get replicated automatically in centers without losing the content of paper being leaked out. So we're working with them now how to have those assignments, those papers, leveraging the technology to drive it out. You see Skype. I know all of you are using a Skype or Facebook or their respective to Google Hangout for talking. We were the one who first did in Andhra Pradesh government, the first school in remote area near Vizag, where we did a session from a teacher sitting in South Africa conducting a session in Vizag over a Skype. Skype can help you connect multiple people across different geographies and learn it. And what we try to bring new here is, a faculty could be from German, teaching in China. The faculty could be talking in Germany. The students sitting in China would be listening in Chinese. This is an online translation going to happen from a faculty to a students. We're doing that in Indian languages also. So very soon we'll land up in India so that we can drive it out. Third, what is a OneNote? OneNote is available in 26 Indian languages. 26 Indian languages. Basically, OneNote can be used for Hindi, Tamil, Kannada, any language can be typed and can be translated to a English language depending on the choice. So that's the power. We're really creating and sharing new ways of learning for the students and teachers. Second, teach, learn through doing and exploring. What you heard about this 8-year-old girl? What did she do? Gaming. How to give her toys. That was purely a gaming thing. So we are trying to bring new ways of connecting the educators across the world with guest speakers and virtual learning. Again, let me share one more example here. I know many of you heard about a school called Pathway School in Delhi, which is one of the IB board school. One of the faculty left the Java Pathway, cushy job what she had there, started her own organization. She is connected to 180 country educators and educating the underprivileged students using technology and exploring, using Minecraft by which they can do it. This surface which I'm carrying right now also has a pen and a pad by which you can really teach. So that's how we are really enabling the ecosystem of learning through exploring. Next, track student performance and pinpoint areas of support to accommodate learning needs, help students overcome literacy and language and learning obstacles. And here, one more example. We know there are a lot of dropouts in our underprivileged students in different parts of the states. We picked up a project in Andhra Pradesh government where we had done a study of 10,000 schools in remote areas, that why there is a dropout of students from the schools when they are in middle school basically. Typically, we all come with the same reason. Infrastructure or sanitation is the biggest reason of dropout of school. Now that something goes without data. What we did, we picked up data for about 10,000 schools, about 100,000 students, and 60 different parameters, starting from Aadhaar card, the community, the father's education, the mother working, everything. We were surprised to hear that the entire thing was churned, and the output which came was shared with Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister. Sanitation infrastructure was the fifth reason, not the first reason for dropout in schools. So what I want to share with you, that we are helping the government by picking up data, doing churning of the data, and helping them create learning needs for different set of segments of people across the country by churning data. Last but not the least, focus on outcomes. So what Dr. Ravi said, focus on building the students, not on technology. Technology should be one of the enablers for the big out. So how are we doing that? We put up a framework, we're putting a learning environments, teaching and learning and science assessments. We are building capacity for teachers and students, and we have also created a leadership and a culture of innovation for the educators. And what we've done, we have launched number of programs for different segments. For Q12 educators, we have got Shiksha, we got global forums for them, we got showcase schools in K12. For higher education, we got Project Saksham. We got educator engineering programs where we give MS degree and ME degree or master's degrees to the faculties. We have Project Urja for the students. We have professional development for the faculties as educators. And just to share the data what we have done, we have trained about 8 lakh teachers from the government in last 3 years. We have done about Saksham has picked up by 85 universities and 1,300 educators. Urja is about 3,100 students. We have got about 120 ambassadors. So we are trying to create an ecosystem in the country where students and teachers can learn technology and the mission what they want to drive for the students. Now here I'll share some video which is not an Indian video, how Virgin Tech, engineering college, has really made an impact in the science side. The video, please see the video and just the way we are really modifying changing the entire world.
The real question that needs to be asked is, what is it that we can do that is impactful?
What the cloud enables is computing to empower cancer researchers.
It used to take 2 weeks to sequence and analyze a genome. With the Microsoft Cloud, we can analyze 100 per day.
Whatever I can do to help compute a cure for cancer, that's what I'd like to do.
So here we just see the way we are trying to bring the cloud platform to the industry, especially to the academic world. Millions of terabytes of data can be crunched and used for designing and research. Now this is the Digital India MOOC platform that we are really building for the Government of India. The platform provides an omnichannel portal for the students where they can, it's like a similar to ODL, what Indira Gandhi used to be working upon it, examination platform, integrate services like payment of examination or digital communications, a contact center for help and analytics also. This is something what we've been trying to build, and is being supported in 10 different languages across the country. And this we are working with Mr. HRD and AICT to take it forward. For the contact center, a new thing has really evolved in the world called Conversations as a Platform. What Conversations as a Platform is? It's a human language, is a new UI. All of you have heard about the call centers. India has become the largest BPO center in the world. Things are changing. A new platform is called Conversations as a Platform. We are building called Skype bots. I'll show a video to you, and then I'll give an example of how we're trying to help the Indian government again in that area.
From Cortana. By tapping it, I go into the conversation with Cortana. And she's telling me that Café du Monde would like to know my location for delivery. This must be the little treat from the team. They know I'm crazy about beignets. And I'm going to track delivery. So as you can see, Skype is turning into this conversational platform. This is actually one of the first ways that we're showing you that. Cortana, my personal agent, is actually brokering the conversation with a third-party bot, the Café du Monde bot. The other thing that I see here is a rich card that actually shows me exactly where my beignets are and that they'll be here within a few minutes. And I see this all within Skype. This is one of the many great ways that you're going to start seeing businesses using Skype and Cortana to communicate with their customers. Now, since I've committed to doing this keynote, I'm going to go ahead and plan the rest of my trip. Please block my calendar for CODIS from April 10th through April 12th.
Book a hotel and a flight
So you
without
saw there, I didn't
talking to
feel
any
like typing,
human
so I'm
person
using
behind
push to
this
talk.
phone. It's all artificial intelligence. It's picking up data. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to work with the National Career Services, with the Government of India, where job seekers, employers, and placement organizations will come on a single portal, and without human being behind the scene, will help identify a student or a person seeking for a job and identify a employer and match them. So this is something we need to build so that we can leverage the Skype bots, which can really go and serve all the jobs of government and bring it as a single platform to our customers. So this is a new platform coming up in the world right now, and we're trying to bring it into the country by helping the Government of India. So what I want to say that technology, when thoughtfully applied, can do more. I know you can't produce babies in Singapore, have husband and wife sitting in different parts of the world, but if leveraged thoughtfully, can really make difference to this new digital transformation where students are looking forward for jobs in industry like Microsoft. I would like to end. Education is not the learning of facts, but training of the mind. That's what Albert said. Let's put our best as all Indians to train the mind of the students so that they become the future leaders of the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Rajiv Arora, for really bringing the importance of